Happy Assumption Day to Catholic faithfuls out there. Ladies and gentlemen, you're welcome to the 2 p.m. news on 88.4 Royal FM. My name is MAPALAH ZITA. Our top stories. Hail Mary, full of grace. This phrase is resounding in Catholic churches across the world as faithfuls celebrate the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary into heaven, body and soul. But just what does Mary represent in the life of a Catholic?
I strongly believe that when I pray to Mary, when I pray the rosary, my prayers go directly to God.
Mother Mary is someone I look up to for my prayers to be channeled to God.
A vaccination campaign against the cholera kickstarts across the country tomorrow, and Cameroonians will be telling us just how ready they are to accompany the state in the fight against this disease. Out of the country, we will bring you updates of the Nigerian crisis and the state of Algeria, which says no to the promotion of homosexuality. And in sports, we will talk Elite One football and volleyball. Ladies and gentlemen, those were our top stories. Please stay with us. Good afternoon. Once again, you're welcome to the 2 p.m. news on 88.4 Royal FM. Catholic Christians in Cameroon join their counterparts the world over today to celebrate the feast of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary into heaven, body and soul. Activities to mark this day include the celebration of Holy Mass in churches and the reception of different sacraments by faithfuls. It will culminate in heavy feasting in the houses of Catholic Christians. But just what exactly is the significance of the Assumption, and how are Christians to behave on this day? Reverend Father Octave Fonko is a priest at the Ngoya Parish.
Today, we enter the celebration of the Assumption of the Blessed Virgin Mary. As we know, it is the day Mary was taken up to heaven by her Son, Jesus Christ. It is a great day for the Catholic Christians over the world. The Pope is calling all of us to pray for peace. Peace in our country, peace in our families, peace in our hearts, and to present to God through our Mother Mary all our petitions. We know that through Mary, easily we go to Jesus, and from him we receive everything. Whatever you ask Jesus through our Mother Mary, we will have it. So we are blessed to have Mary as our mother. May God bless us.
Most Catholic faithfuls believe in the intercession powers of Mary, the mother of Jesus, and she occupies a special place in their lives, as some of them affirm in this Vox Pop.
Mother Mary, I'll say she's my advocate because she's someone I look up to for my prayers to be channeled to God immediately.
Mother Mary helps me to follow Jesus, to grow in his likeness and bear his transforming grace to the whole world. I strongly believe that when I pray to Mary, when I pray the rosary, my prayers, they go directly to God. I've experienced her wonderful, marvelous intercessions.
The place of Mother Mary in my life is so important. She is the mother of God, the mother of Jesus Christ. In fact, she is the mother of the whole universe. And being an intercessor between us, the children, and the Father in heaven, I look at Mother Mary as a role model. Once I cry to her all the time, especially through the rosary, Mother Mary always answers me. So her place in my life is so important. Mary, the mother of God, ascended to heaven, body and soul. I know she has ascended with all our difficulties, with all our problems, to the Father in heaven. And there is nothing that Mama Mary will ask on my behalf that God will not answer.
And as you know, today is also a public holiday, and some workers of the public and private sector in Cameroon have expressed satisfaction over the long public holidays experienced yesterday and today in commemoration of the Feast of the Assumption. Now, just how did these workers, or are they observing these public holidays? Our reporter Angwa sampled some of their opinions in this report.
Some workers of the public and private sector give their appraisal of the long public holiday and express their satisfaction, as many had the opportunity to spend enough and quality time with their family.
I was very happy when it was announced that yesterday and today a public holiday. It's been long not had time with my family due to work, pressure at work. So I was very happy to see my family once more. We spent enough time together. We went out, had fun, came back.
Furthermore, some workers of the private sector sees the long public holiday as a normal working day. According to Susan, she expressed her inability to enjoy public holiday as a parent who needs to raise money for her kids' school fees and feed them on daily basis.
I used to enjoy my holiday because I'm a woman who have many children. So I need to work strong. I need to work every day because I'm a tailor, except Sunday when I'm going to church. So those holidays where sometimes they used to give it's not important to me because I'm not working for public place. I need to work every day so that I will feed my children. I'm already prepared to have to pay their school fees, so I cannot stay in my home.
In addition, regarding the Assumption Day, other workers like Cynthia expressed with joy how she intends going to church and celebrate the religious feast with her family.
For me today, after the church service, I came back home, started doing cooking. From cooking, we had to dine together, and at least it was all fun.
Inasmuch as workers of the public and private sector express their satisfaction of the long public holiday, other workers see public holiday as a normal working day.
And then away from the Feast of the Assumption, the lifeless body of a lady whose only name we got as Lorraine has been discovered in the room of a gendarme officer in Nkomo. According to sources, the young woman who sells food lived with her family in Mimboman and only paid a visit to her gendarme boyfriend but never came back. Witnesses say she was stabbed to death by the suspect in the presence of her about 2-year-old baby. Investigations have been opened into the case while the suspect and his friends continue to explain themselves in different versions before the forces of law and order. Still to come in this newscast, a vaccination campaign against cholera kickstarts across the country tomorrow. How ready are Cameroonians to join the states in the fight against this disease?
Yes, I know about the vaccine. So if they ask me to do the test or to take the vaccine, I'll be very sure to take it because I want to keep myself secured because I don't like anything that will disturb my health. So I'm very happy for that.
If you're just joining us, you're listening to the 2 p.m. News on 88.4 Royal FM and watching us live on Facebook at Royal FM Cameroon. On our health page, a new polio virus known as the circulating poliovirus type 2 is suspected to be circulating in the Mvogada neighborhood here in Yaoundé. Officials of the expanded program on immunization have briefed pressmen on the new strain, which is said to have originated from neighboring Nigeria. Now, just what exactly is polio? What causes the disease? How can it be treated? And how can it be prevented? Apengo Alfred is a clinical pathologist. He sheds more light on the above problematic on the microphone of Fringway Crispin.
Polio, also known as poliomyelitis, it is a highly infectious disease caused by the polio virus, meaning it is a viral infection. This virus mainly affects children under 5 years of age. However, it should be noted that anyone of any age who is unvaccinated can contract polio. However, it should also be noted that this virus attacks the spinal cord and the brain, hence can cause instant paralysis. Some of the initial symptoms of this disease include fever, fatigue, headache, sore throat, vomiting, stiffness of the neck, and pains in the limbs. It should be noted that 1 in 200 infections will lead to reversible paralysis. It should be noted that there is no cure for polio, so it can only be prevented using the polio vaccine. Giving this vaccine multiple times can protect a child for life. However, what happens to those who
And still in health, a campaign to fight against cholera will be launched tomorrow, August the 16th, across the national territory. This campaign is meant to sensitize Cameroonians on preventive measures as well as vaccination to prevent the spread of the disease. Our students journalist Glory Ngange interviewed some Cameroonians on their knowledge about cholera or the campaign and if they are ready to be vaccinated. She now reports.
Cholera is one of the killer diseases that has claimed the lives of many Cameroonians since its outbreak. Some Cameroonians say the campaign is an aid to them as citizens, considering the massive number of people that have died due to the disease.
I think it's a good idea if the government decides to help us, the Cameroonians, from the cholera rise outside, because I've been hearing and I've been seeing people dying because of the disease. So I think it's a good idea. And as you know, for Cameroonians that need to be helped, that will refuse to be vaccinated against the disease.
Being aware of the campaign, other Cameroonians say they value being healthy, thus such an opportunity will be gladly exploited. This is because they are confident that the government means well for them.
I've heard about the cholera campaign, and actually if I'm chanced or given the opportunity to take the vaccine, I'll obviously take it, because I believe that anything that is given by the government is a good thing. I don't think the government will be sending out vaccines that will cause harm to its citizens. So I think I will take the vaccine if I have the opportunity.
To other Cameroonians, they are scared or doubtful when it comes to vaccinations. They believe that other measures like proper hygiene can prevent them from contacting cholera.
Yes, I know about the campaign. I'm accepting to be vaccinated. I'm very skeptical about it. Why? Because first of all, I never had the cholera disease that did not get infected. For me, I just think avoiding cholera is just being hygienic, keeping clean. For sure, you eat food that is well clean, washed, like following the basic rules of hygiene and stuff, because you can still get vaccinated, but if you still continue following the bad habit, being dirty, you are still going to get the disease.
Just like it is said, prevention is better than cure.
And onto our education page, the government of Cameroon, through the Minister of Commerce, Luc Maglambarga Tangana, has promised to help parents reduce the prices of didactic materials as the prices have increased in the market recently, this during school resumption period. The information contained in a press release say the sales will take effect as from the 21st of August and will run to September 2023, and this will be at the May the 20th Boulevard. Eratus Ndue in that regard caught up with some Cameroonians to appreciate the move. He compiled this report.
Rentrée Commerciale 2023 is the framework under which the governmental initiative, which is geared at promoting the school supplies and other consumer products, thereby helping parents reduce the shock and malaise that comes with school resumption. Cedric and Avin are both parents who praise the move.
The government has taken a good initiative by trying to help some of our families that are trying to bring down the price of some school needs like books and rollers, everything.
The budget the parent placed maybe 2 years ago to provide for his different kids' furniture is not the same he's going to use today, because the prices of things has increased in the market. Now the government coming in to help parents afford those things, it's something to be applauded.
Perhaps an initiative which is not shared by all who thinks that the date could be prolonged and the material used, as attested by Ashley and Mama Vera.
The initiative is very limited because it will only be for a while, that is from the 21st to the 3rd. They can instead reduce the prices of textbook to a standard price, like maybe a textbook that is maybe 5,000. They can maybe bring it down to maybe 4,000 or 4,500 and let it better be permanent.
As in those days, we used to use a material for 5-6 years. The textbook went from senior to junior. So they need not only to reduce the price, but they need to postpone the period of this material that are being asked in school.
Organized from the 21st of August to September 3rd, 2023 at the 20th May Boulevard in Yaoundé, Arvin thinks that it should not be only limited at the center region but also to the hinterlands so as to bridge the gap of favoritism.
But now the issue is, why is it done only here in Yaoundé? We know in Cameroon there are still villages where there are children that don't go to school because maybe the parents don't have the means to buy the different materials. In some villages there are no schools, so the government can do more and focus more on those rural areas that are not yet developed so that those children too can benefit from that. It's not like parents in Yaoundé don't need the help of the government.
However, the project is not the first initiative undertaken by the government to fight against the inflation in the country, as in 2022 the campaign was organized to combat the similar threat in Cameroon.
We stay in education to look at the role of the diaspora in fostering education in Cameroon. An open day organized by Harvard Bilingual Academy and its diasporan partners took place over the weekend in the Nkomo neighborhood here in Yaoundé. Vera Sompon is a Cameroonian based in Germany who says children back at home deserve the best quality education, and the role of the diaspora is to encourage such.
The diaspora, those who are out of the country and still have passion for their origin land and have not forgotten the roots. The intention is to bring back the expertise, what they have learned there, and my role, especially for the Harvard, is to accompany the structure. From profession, I'm a lecturer, I'm a social worker and a pedagogy, and my role is to accompany training the professionals, training the educators who are in the school, and of course also the founding people.
The role of parents in the education of their children cannot also be undermined because they have a great part to play when it comes to the proper education of their younger ones. This, according to Fabrice Lena, a political actor and educator.
Parents always need the responsibility of managing their children only to the school. The majority of parents do not always attend meetings concerning issues that arise in schools about their children. Parents do not do checks of their children. Parents do not do follow-up. But that responsibility of the parent.
For Chimewan Dikum Emmanuel, who is the resident representative of Harvard in Cameroon and the initiator of the Open Day, he says their choice of working with the diaspora is pertinent.
These partners have decided to provide us with what we need to accompany our children to the land of glory. For example, they are to help us in the in-service training of our personnel. That is our teachers, extracurricular staff, those that are going to permit that the children that parents entrust into our hands get the best of comfort within the vicinities of Harvard.
And on to politics. Political actors from the Reformation Movement Party have tabled a request to the Constitutional Council to revisit their clause on the reception of independent candidates for the 2025 presidential elections. This move comes after a new law on the reception of these files was adopted, which stipulates that any party without an elected leader or representative at the National Assembly can complete their submission with 300 signatures from personalities of all 10 regions. In relation to this, our reporter Evans Williams Njobati analyzes the case with a legal mind and compiled this report.
Questioning Nelson Lambris, the legal mind, on the issue over Article 121, Paragraph 2, he begins by clarifying the autonomy of the Cameroonian law.
That does not make the law to be repugnant to natural justice. I think the law has three characteristics. It needs to be ethical, it needs to be moral, and it needs to be general. Your personal opinion can never suffice the laws of this country, voted by the legislature in legislation and actually promulgated by the representative of the people's sovereignty, known as the chief executive officer of our country.
Concentrating on the request from the Reformation Movement Party to the Constitutional Council to revisit their policy on independent candidacy ahead of the 2025 presidential elections, the legal expert says the party is acting due to their own selfish interest.
The movement that you're talking about, because of their egocentric interests, they want to gain power and maintain the same thing that we decry today. I think Cameroonians are not stupid. As per the 18th General Constitution of 1996, it is well spelled out in all its 69 articles of that constitution. Every Cameroonian have a right to vie, either to vote or not to be voted. But again, your candidacy and you being voted or not must be in accordance with the law.
More to that, Nelson Lambris says it is but normal for every political party acting under the Cameroonian laws on an order to depend for an audience at the National Assembly, but to him they must be people who are not in accordance with these laws.
It doesn't mean that because you are voted out, automatically the laws of our country are bad. Coming and trying to summon the Constitutional Council, I even doubt if they have the legal backing. If they were telling us to modify the Constitution so that the newly elected president of our country will not enjoy, like I always call it, constitutional dictatorship, an institutional dictatorship which is not a dictatorship per person but institute personally.
Prior to this request from the RM party, the Constitutional Council has offered an audience for them this Thursday, August 17, 2023.
And we talk some diplomacy in this newscast. Several workers of the Cameroonian embassy in Washington, D.C., USA, have been given 30 days to return to their home country or update their statuses. The information is contained in an outing made public by the U.S. State Department on August the 3rd, 2023. According to the release, the 5-year accreditation period for the mission members listed in the enclosure has passed. But now, what could this move send out as message? Fringwe Crispin spoke with an internationalist and now reports.
After going through the service notes from the U.S. Department of State to the Cameroon Embassy in the U.S., the geostrategist Alemkem Richards reveals there is more attached to that move.
The service note from the U.S. State Department, apart from being a reminder, does not speak well of Cameroon diplomacy. For us to have arrived at this level is appalling for our diplomacy. In principle, the Ministry of External Relations should not allow people to overdo in giving posts at diplomatic missions.
The expert further attests that such move simply displays the kind of management that exists in the Cameroon embassy.
Do you imagine that people's mandates have expired in embassies and their owners are unable to renew them? This simply shows some negligence at the level of our Ministry of Foreign Affairs, Ministry of External Relations.
Moreover, it is the Americans' own way of fighting corruption, as Alemkem Richard explains.
What the Americans are after is the fact that when you stay too long in a diplomatic service, what comes in is that you become so corrupt and then the services are no longer what they're supposed to look like. And this is not the first time Cameroon is found in this sort of situation. You can quite remember that the former Prime Minister Yang Villemon spent more than 2 decades in Canada as ambassador. I think Cameroon diplomacy is not faring well. Time and again, the Ministry of External Relations forgets its objective and fails to respect the diplomatic and bilateral cooperation between self and other countries.
Worth recalling that the workers concerned have up to 30 days to either change their statuses or depart the country after their termination.
We take you out of the country. Mali's military leader Assimi Goïta has revealed that he recently held a phone conversation with Russian President Vladimir Putin to discuss the current situation in Niger. In a message shared on social media X today, Goïta stated that Putin emphasized the significance of peaceful resolution to ensure stability in the Sahel region. Niger has experienced a coup by a junta, raising concerns in the international community, with Western nations being apprehensive that Niger might follow the path of Mali, where a previous coup led to the involvement of Russia Wagner Group mercenaries in counter-insurgency efforts. Algeria has banned the movie Barbie, which has been showing at cinema in that country for several weeks now. According to a local news site, official sources are quoted as having said the film promotes homosexuality and other Western deviances and that it does not comply with Algeria's religious and cultural beliefs. Worth noting that Lebanon and Kuwait have both also banned the film. Let's come back to Talk Sport. And in sports, after playing 3 friendly games, Elite One champions Coton Sport of Garoua are set to face RS Real Bamako of Mali for the first leg of the CAF Champions League. Details with Biwa Brian.
Cameroon champions Coton Sports of Garoua capped their performance for the first round of the CAF Champions League preliminaries with a 1-0 win over Avion Academy on Monday, August 14th. The win over Avion Academy was an add-on to the Cotonites' double 1-0 victory in their double-headed encounter with Victoria United. The Cameroon champions are expected to fly to Bamako this Thursday ahead of their first leg clash against AS Real Bamako of Mali, scheduled for Saturday, 19 August 2023.
And ahead of the 21st edition of the Women's African Volleyball Championship to be staged in Cameroon, the draws ceremony will be taking place today, August the 15th, in Yaoundé. Biwa Brian.
The Cameroon Volleyball Lionesses will know their opponents today after the draw ceremony of the 21st edition of the Women's African Volleyball Championship. 17 African countries, including host country Cameroon, will be competing in the tournament, which will be played across 2 stadiums in Yaoundé, including the Yaoundé Multipurpose Sports Complex and the Fandena Gymnasium. According to the officials of the CAF Volleyball Federation, all necessary measures have been put in place for the Continental Volleyball Championship to be hitch-free. As gold prize for the winners of the competitions, the winners will book a ticket for the 2024 Olympic Games in France.
Time for me to welcome Claude Baokeng into the studio for a summary of the newscast in the French language. Bon après-midi, Claude.
Bon après-midi, MAPALAH ZITA. Un fait de société, le corps sans vie d'une jeune dame, vendeuse de nourriture au quartier Mimboman, a été découvert en coma dans la chambre d'un gendarme. Les premiers éléments d'information indiquent que la dame a été tuée au poignard. En santé, une nouvelle variante de poliovirus a été découverte au quartier Mvogada à Yaoundé. L'alerte est du programme élargi de vaccination. Toujours en santé, une campagne de vaccination contre le choléra débute demain dans la région du centre. Elle va se dérouler du 16 au 20 août 2023. Au-delà de nos frontières, Algérie, les autorités de la République d'Algérie interdisent la diffusion des films Barbie, encore appelés dessins animés, pour la simple raison qu'ils font la promotion de l'homosexualité. En sport, Championnat d'Afrique des Nations de volleyball 21e édition. La compétition débute demain au Palais Polyvalent des Sports. 17 nations sont déjà dans la cité capitale. Le tirage au sort aura lieu cet après-midi à 16h en direction de la télévision nationale.
Ladies and gentlemen, that was our package for you this afternoon. The news was technically assisted with copyright by Urish Nkemwe. Jean-Marie Otu took care of the cameras for our Facebook Live. The news was produced by Evans Williams and Jobati. News editor Bertrand Owona. Script editing and editorial coaching Abel Bela Samari. Coordination Jean-Patient Tala, our station manager, and general supervision from Reverend Pastor Bisai Emmanuel Noel. For presentation, my name is MAPALAH ZITA, thanking you for listening and wishing you an interesting afternoon in the company of an interesting and beautiful lady, Raissa Parker, who is back with me into the studio for part 2 of Fraîcheur Royale. Welcome back, Raissa.
Thank you so much, MAPALAH ZITA. Merci, bon après-midi à toi encore, bon après-midi aux auditeurs que je retrouve. L'émission continue, c'est la deuxième partie. Ça fait